People who don't even notice those kind of sums.
Like the king.
Like the king.
How's your great healing crusade going?
Unfortunately, we're only treating the symptoms for now, Mr. Featherland. But that's changing.
What do you mean?
We're radically changing the way the animals of this city think. And we've started in the Hive.
Because the desperate are easily radicalized?
Because the desperate need help and guidance the most.
But they don't have much choice, do they?
The city doesn't have a choice, Mr. Featherland. Either let it be overrun by filth, or look to the glory of the past. Brace itself and confront the evil.
Confront? Well, you're just a charity, right? Or you mean the riots?
Violence is not always the answer to violence.
Not always. Is it sometimes?
You, Mr. Featherland, like twisting words beyond recognition, don't you?
Busted, baby. It's my favorite hobby.
Waren Sie schon immer religiös?
Have you always been religious?
You mean in my past, as a child?
Exactly.
I was born into a religious family, yes. Although I always found the Clawville common religion rather old-fashioned and shabby. I thought so as a child. I could see that it was not keeping up with the crazy changes in the world.
What are you driving at?
Our religion is a religion of extremes. Destruction and creation. I've always believed that these two extremes do exist and need each other. There is a real middle ground, paved with gold.
Hence the sheep and wolf on your posters. One body with two heads.
The lamb and the wolf living together in the same body is the perfect example of who we are. We are animals. We are savages. But if we recognize and accept ourselves and stop trying to be something we're not, we could become enlightened.
Everyone equal.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
This city was built on that dream, sweetheart. And as I see it, it's rapidly falling apart.
That's exactly why we're here. We want to change that.
Wenn ihre Bewegung durch die Gangs zu dem Insekten ist beeinträchtigt, wie die Gangs macht ihnen nichts aus, dass sie das Internet terrorisieren. Sie nehmen praktisch mit den Gangs aus dem Insekten und daran, ich soll glauben, dass sie nicht am gleichen Strang ziehen. Hier.
And the gangs? Are you okay with them terrorizing the Hive? Or do you benefit from them too?
Of course not. What the Golden Fang clan is doing to the poorer people of the Hive is terrible. They're a brutal bunch of bastards.
And yet, you've set up camp right there, just like them. Is that a coincidence?
We help where we're most needed, Mr. Featherland.
And you don't run into each other too often.
Fortunately, the clan is more concerned with other criminal gangs than poor, abandoned insects.
Really? Not exactly my experience.
You haven't been in the Hive, have you? Because it's forbidden to people like you.
Like me? As a policeman? Or as a chicken?
You are far more cunning than I first thought, Mr. Featherland.
That makes us even.
Aber das ist nicht mit dass es zwischen ihnen mehr läuft. Oh, muss ich ja. Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Dann schlaf mal gut. Gute Nacht. So, warum habe ich das Gefühl, dass wir nicht nur genau...
Why do I get the feeling that you're not only King Hector's advisor, but something a little bit more?
Now you're turning tabloid journalist. But yes, as the press have been gossiping for a while now, Hector and I are closely connected, spiritually speaking.
Oh, that's quite an elegant way of putting it. So you're his mistress.
Perhaps one day I'll be his wife.
That would look pretty good on your resume. 2 years leader of a small church, then queen. Quite a career.
Tell me, Mr. Featherland, based on what we just talked about, do you think I'm such a simple, gold-digging harlot?
Simple? No, I wouldn't say that.
What is surprising about a man and a woman who've worked together closely for a long time, Slowly
nicht.
starting to feel something for each
Passiert
other.
auch gar nichts mehr.
You've never been in that situation?
Katze davor steht.
Or are you in it right now?
Get out of my head.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So,
Ich habe ganz
are
schön
we done
versagt.
here?
I think we are. I think I'm tangled up in my own questions. Can we start again?
Of course, Detective. You said yourself this isn't an official interrogation, just a friendly chat.
Well, yes, it is. So let's see. Oh, clucky furry hell.
Ich kann gar nicht weitermachen, ne? Ich habe einfach nichts erreicht. Das liegt aber auch daran, dass die ganze Zeit dieser aufdringliche Kerl... Ich komme echt nicht weiter, ne? Alter.
Kayla. Or rather,
Yeah,
are
of
you
course.
here in a private or an official capacity?
You mean, am I the king's companion?
You could put it that way.
Foggy phrasing, foggy.
Ja, das ist ja...
As a simple...
You can't be that cliche.
Unfortunately, I am.
Well then, ask me.
How can I refuse?
Zack, direkt auf böse.
So the king was your target from the start. Straight to the top.
You may find it hard to believe, but I had no such ambition. It just happened.
Oh, what a wonderful coincidence.
Something tells me you don't believe in coincidences.
I've never met one, that must be why. So how was it with the king?
If you must know, he came to me, not the other way around. At the time, I was running a small community, being a spiritual advisor to whoever I could help.
Spiritual advisor, huh? That's a job that only exists in the head. Am I right?
Everything exists only in the head, Mr. Featherland.
What kind of church are we talking about? Beyond what the slogans say.
The new Unity Church offers unity in a world where everything is about separation and hostility.
Which means...
You're a very objective animal. Am I right?
Let's just say I'm a bird who'll let pretty words roll.
Haben wir schon.
Really?
And that is why we operate there, Mr. Featherland. To eat.
But shouldn't those who...
We don't believe in running away.
Ah, so you're...
Only if it's necessary, Mr. Featherland.
Impeccable timing for the misery that's in the hive.
I didn't even hear that question, Mr. Featherland. It suggests a rather narrow vision.
I'm sorry. I guess I got a little hard-boiled over the years. I've seen all kinds of organizations come and go, and always they end up the same.
Which is?
Their leaders either ran off with the money, or they went to jail.
I can assure you that in our case, there is no danger of either.
Yeah? We'll see.
Wow.
How's your great healing crusade going?
Unfortunately, we're only treating the symptoms for now, Mr. Featherland. But that's changing.
What do you mean?
We're radically changing the way the animals of this city think. And we've started in the Hive.
Because the desperate are easily radicalized,
Because the desperate need help and guidance the most.
but they don't have much choice, do they?
The city doesn't have a choice, Mr. Featherland. Either let it be overrun by filth or look to the glory of the past. Brace itself and confront the evil.
Confront? Well, you're just a charity, right? Or you mean the riots?
Violence is not always the answer to violence.
Not always. Is it sometimes?
You, Mr. Featherland, like twisting words beyond recognition, don't
Das
you?
ist mein
Busted, baby. Tell me, Sweet Paws, where are you from? I'm sorry, but I've never heard of you before.
My family's from Clawville, but they had to leave in my grandfather's time, so I wasn't born here. But my dream was always to come back.
And you did.
But I didn't find what I wanted here, Mr. Featherland. The dreams and promises this city was built on are nowhere to be found. Maybe only the old walls of the old streets remember.
And old cocks, like me.
Don't you feel we're getting further and further away from what the spirit of Clawville was?
Honestly, I don't think that spirit ever existed.
Whether it did or not, I'd like to make it real.
Your confidence is certainly commendable. You essentially live with the Hive gangs, and I'm supposed to believe you don't blow the same whistle?
We are where the greatest poverty and deprivation is. We knew that the Hive was in danger long before the gangs took power as a result of your actions.
Our actions? So this is the fault of the police?
I was more referring to the chicken police. If you hadn't dismantled the Wesler Empire, it wouldn't have exploded into 1,000 pieces, all of which are now in their power-hungry hands.
There's some truth to that. So you think we're the reason this town is where it is?
Mr. Featherland, you have accelerated a process that has two possible outcomes.
Which are?
1. Clawville and the whole idea it was built on will be destroyed without a trace. It will be consumed by flames.
Let me guess. The other is that you and your holy cult save everyone and lead us to a glorious future.
This is not a cult, Mr. Featherland.
I'm sorry. I meant to call it a scam.
I would urge you to back off, Detective. I'm not sure it's such a good idea to upset someone who has the king at her side.
Oh, I see. The fox is out of the bag. Good.
Wow.
Why do I get the feeling that you're not only King Hector's advisor, but something a little bit more?
Now you're turning tabloid journalist. But yes,
Oh, that's quite a...
perhaps one day I'll be...
That would look pretty good on your resume.
Tell me, Mr. Featherland,
Simple? No, I wouldn't say that.
what is surprising about a man and a woman who...
Get out of my...
That's exactly...
I think we are. I think we're done here. Although I admit I have more questions than answers.
You see, it was absolutely useless being so intrusive and rude.
It's just part of my job, ma'am. Just part of my job.
But you said yourself, this is not a formal interrogation.
Oh, maybe I got carried away.
You know, Mr. Featherland, you present yourself as tough and precise. But really, deep down, you're just a wounded little child. And terribly lonely. Am I right?
Thanks for the analysis, sweetheart, but I've got to fly.
Do take care of yourself, Detective.
And you take care of the king, milady. We're gonna need him. You see? That's what I'm talking about.
Wow. Das war aber toll, oder? Einfach das Gegenteil vom Anfang, ne? Okay, und weiter.
This was fun. I mean that, honestly.
No offense, sweetheart, but you're not easy to figure out.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Mr. Featherland.
But I must ask you this. Do you really think the city needs to be reborn?
Absolutely. And rebirth must always come with sacrifice.
That sounds kind of ominous.
There's little reason for optimism, is there? I think we should look forward and strive for a better future. But if we sit and wait, life will pass us by. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, well, we can agree on that.
Glad to hear it, Mr.
So, jetzt will ich aber
Featherland.
endlich wissen, was das für ein Tier ist. Ja, den Boll können wir auch fragen, ob wir jetzt erstmal wissen. Katze. Polarfuchs. Juhu! Eine mysteriöse Frau, die aus dem Nichts aufgetaucht ist, aber über ihre Vergangenheit und ihre derzeitige Rolle neben dem König ist nicht viel bekannt. Eine Beraterin, eine spirituelle Guru oder einfach nur eine Schwinderin mit hübschen Beinen. Wir werden es herausfinden. Also, sie ist mir nicht sehr sympathisch, dagegen mag ich die Spinne furchtbar gerne. Aber sie ist eine schlechte Mutter. Naja, gut, Spinnen halt, ne? Eine ruhige, zurückhaltende Frau, die gleichzeitig einer der größten Nachwuchsstars der Clawville-Filmszene ist. Die hat ja auch in dem Demo von Moses und Plato, da freue ich mich auch schon drauf. Ich freue mich, dass es jetzt schon Aussicht darauf gibt, dass es hiernach auch noch weitergeht. Ne? Neben ihrem Partner Cassidy Lupus wirkt sie allerdings eher wie ein flackernder, verblassender Stern. In letzter Zeit scheint sie etwas aufgefüllt zu sein, doch sie hat eine bemerkenswerte Willenskraft, eine Stärke und Geduld natürlich, vor allem wenn es um Lupus geht. Also, ich finde die gut und er ist furchtbar. Oh Gott, der Der ist so dumm. König Hektor III. Oder der Fuchskönig, Herrscher der Stadt und des Kolonialreichs Chlorville. Er wird von der Öffentlichkeit als ein leicht beeinflussbarer und schwacher König angesehen. Ja, das ist auch ein Schwachkopf, der nur dank seiner kürzlich verstorbenen Beraters auf dem rechten Weg geblieben ist. Jetzt hat Lady Kayla diese Rolle übernommen und viele glauben, dass der König jegliche Kontrolle über sein eigenes Reich verloren hat. Wir haben ein neues Ziel. Die neue Kirche ist möglicherweise nicht der Versuch, ganz nett über ihren Wohltätigkeitsorganisation, aber sie ist, genau. Das haben wir geschafft. Was fehlt noch? Ja, also total gut. Oh.
Hey, Phil, what are you doing here?
Did you replace Marty? Too bad. Next to a pretty flower like that, you look even worse than before.
Oh, thanks for the compliment, Philip.
Just Philmar. I no longer use that dusty old name.
I understand. Old names are associated with old sins, am I right?
You know a lot more than all of us, Monica.
Thanks, Philmar.
Hey, can I get you some champagne? I'm feeling a bit redundant.
Oh, hello, Sonny.
You didn't answer my question. What are you doing here?
Me? Nothing, really. I worked for someone recently, a secret benefactor who threw me a ticket. Thought I'd check out what this big fuss is about, and it's kind of a letdown.
Your story is plausible.
Believe it or not.
You're not even trying anymore, are you?
We're old, Sonny. We've done this tango too many times.
All right. Enjoy the party, Nighthawk. See you later.
As long as there's champagne, I'll be here.
Just leave some for everyone else.
Fuck you, Sonny.
So. Louis.
Hey, Louis, you all right? You look a little lost.
Sure, Sonny. I'm more of an observer right now.
You haven't really settled back into these circles yet, have you?
No, not at all. But I'll be honest. I'm a little embarrassed if that woman is here.
Which woman?
That woman. Lady Kayla, of course. Around her, the king is quite different. She makes my ears itch.
That's never a good sign.
No, it's not.
Do you think she's leading the king
Er
astray?
ist aber auch klasse, oder?
It's a strange thing. I wouldn't say that. Like she's doing nothing but charity and helping animals in need. Yet there's an inexplicably sinister aura about her.
I feel it too.
Because you've always had good instincts, Sonny.
And because he thinks everyone in the world is suspicious.
Oh, I almost didn't notice you. Hello, dear Monica.
It's all right. I'm just an observer myself, Mr. Hayworth.
I see.
Achso, hier will ich nicht mehr. Noch einer?
No more questions. At least for now.
Ja. Ist durchgehen. Ja.
Detective! And your lovely lady partner. How can I help you?
Well, Your Majesty, I just thought, as this is a special and hardly repeatable occasion for me, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, of course, I'd be delighted.
Unfortunately, Hector, His Majesty, is extremely tired. Am I not right?
Oh, that's true, dear, but, I don't think it would be a problem if...
No, this is not the time. The inspector can make an appointment for an audience later. It's been a long night, and it's far from over.
Oh, right, yes, it is.
Okay, die
Lady
hat ihn
Kayla's
komplett unter Kontrolle.
right. Sorry, Detective Inspector, I'm extremely tired. Perhaps next time.
Well, if that's what you really want.
Yes, I think I do.
All right. Have a good evening, Your Majesty.
Oh.
What was that?
Exactly what you think, Sweetbeak. She had him wrapped perfectly around her silky fingers and was rubbing it in our faces.
It was like a movie. Totally surreal.
Maybe that's the point. She's showing off her authority. She's showing us that she can do anything.
But why?
Because she's a predator to the core. She likes to toy with her prey.